know if that.
No, I told her she couldn't do it now that it's drive-by only.
Yeah,
Right.
we can get her in.
I'm sorry.
We can fit you in.
Okay, I have bags made up to give out.
Okay. We're starting to set up at 7 in the morning. So if you want to be there by 8,
Okay,
and then we'll show you where your booth is and get you ready to go.
thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.
Part of being on Mosquito and Vector, I had them donate.
Good.
Romero coming tonight?
You know, I tried to call him and it went to his voicemail, and I texted him and I have not heard back.
Oh, in less than 1 minute to start.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's doing their dishes?
That would be my family.
Uh-oh.
So are we ready? I have 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Of course, my internet says connection unstable. Here we go. All right. I now call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock here on Thursday, April 15th, 2021. For the audience tonight, I am the chair and serve as presiding officer for tonight's meeting. Before we move forward, I would like to announce that in response to executive orders issued by Governor Newsom, the city is conducting a teleconference public meeting utilizing Zoom video communications. This allows the city to continue to conduct essential business and comply with public health administration recommendations to protect the public and city employees, practice social distancing, and limit exposure by not allowing in-person public meetings. To ensure that the public will be able to participate, public comments can be submitted as live comments during Zoom meeting and via email at publiccomment@cityofglendora.org. Madam Clerk, will you please conduct roll call?
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I will conduct an oral roll call and request that each commissioner respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Carrasco, I'm showing absent. Commissioner Dornick,
Present?
Commissioner Riley,
Present.
Vice Chair Burrell,
Present.
Chair Gerber.
Present.
Now I'm showing 4 present. Thank you.
Thank you. For the Pledge of Allegiance, Jackie, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the
The
flag
flag.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Reordering of and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the current agenda at this time? Nope. Okay. I will now open the public comment period. I now invite members of the public to address the Community Service Commission on items listed on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once on both on and off agenda items. This is your time to speak uninterrupted. Please address your comments to me, the presiding officer. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. If you would like to request to speak, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of the public comment period. You will then be called on when your turn is up to speak. Have any public comments been received?
We have received no correspondence via public comment email or request to speak via this Zoom meeting at this time.
Okay, so then based on that, I will close the public comment period. Thank you. The commissioner statements and reports. I invite our commissioners to provide statements and their reports at this time. I will start with Commissioner Dornick, since Commissioner Carrasco is not present.
I was not able to attend any meetings on behalf of the commission this month. But I do look forward to seeing you all on our Drive Through Earth Day. And thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Riley.
I have nothing.
Okay. Vice Chair Burrow.
Also nothing. We, nobody's met and nothing's happened in the last month since we all met.
All right. I have attended our sports council meeting. If you aren't familiar with the city at this point, all sporting activities are in full swing and they are preparing for the future. Baseball, Little League, as well as Lassie Leagues are well underway and facilitating events daily up at the fields. And soccer is planning for a full regular season for fall. At this point, the last meeting, football was not on there, but I would anticipate that being as well. And I'm presuming basketball for the holiday season, they will intend on trying to provide that as well, as what was said. So sporting events are definitely occurring throughout the city at this time. No major issues. No one has come up with anything identifying of any cases in the youth sports. I know the high school is actively participating in sports, and there was one student that did test positive, but that has not been a reoccurring issue and concern. Those are the notes from that particular meeting. Okay, at this time, I'd like to invite Community Services Director John Aguirre to provide statement. Tonight, there will be no attorney statement. There are
No statements at this time.
Okay. Special items, none. There are no special items. Moving on to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless the commissioner has requested it be removed for separate discussion. Does anyone wish to pull or comment on consent calendar items? Okay, then we request a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, at this time, a motion was made by Commissioner Riley, seconded by Vice Chair Burrell, to approve the consent calendar item number 2 as presented. I will now call for an oral roll call. Commissioner Dornick,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burrell,
Yes.
Chair Gerber.
Yes.
Motion carried 4-0. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, there are no commission agenda items. Unfinished business, there is no unfinished business as well. New business. At this time, we will discuss strategic plan goals and objectives for the 2020 and 2021 year. I invite Community Service John Aguirre to present the report.
John, you're muted.
Thank you, Chair and Commission. I'm here tonight to give you an update of the strategic plan goals and objectives for the 2020 and 2021. Next slide, please. On July 30th of 2020, the City Council, City staff, City Attorney, and representatives from the City boards and commissions met to discuss the city's current 2019 to 2022 strategic plan. The meeting focused on long-term COVID-19 recovery and the importance to align future objectives and tasks with the upcoming creation of the fiscal year 2021 through 2023 two-year budget. On October 13th of 2020, the city adopted the strategic plan for the fiscal years 2020 to 2021 through fiscal year 2022 through 2023. Next slide, please. The 2020 to 2023 strategic planning goals and objectives consist of 6 points. Increase financial stability and sustainability for financial, enhance and modernize the organization, improve and maintain the city infrastructure and facilities, implement strategic economic development, enhance employee development and retention, implement strategic homeless solutions. Next slide, please. The City Council have adopted 58 objectives/tasks to be considered over the next 3 fiscal years. Financial has 8, modernization 23, infrastructure with 9, economic development with 6, employees with 9, and homelessness with 3. Next slide, please. After discussion of the goals, several objectives and tasks were assigned to the Community Services Department. In employees, we explored childcare and recreation opportunities for children during COVID-19. It was 23-EEDR. We worked with Glendora Unified School District and identified the Teen Center as the first joint project to assist with educational and childcare needs. Glendora Unified School District provided the staff, and the city provided the space for 20 to 30 middle school and high school students to go during the COVID period. Next slide, please. With modernization, the Medal of Merit, as you guys know, the City Council asked our commission to come up with a design of the Medal of Merit and present it to council. On Tuesday night at the City Council meeting, City Council approved the design and the policy. So that's taken care. Now we are in the process of getting it made up, and then they'll start giving that out. The Glendora Unified School District Memorandum of Understanding 36-EMO. The city and the school district have had 2 meetings on this and started working towards the MOU. Subcommittees have been set up and are starting to meet in the next several months. This probably will be about a year, take about a year to get all the stuff together to go into the MOU. And then provide enhanced activities for seniors and youth. Staff provided different outdoor classes for the youth during the COVID, such as the Teen Center Hangout, youth hikes, active kids club, outdoor active club, to name a few. And for the seniors, the staff offered the drive-through nutrition program and the food bank distribution program, along with the update senior times to be more interactive games and puzzles. Next slide, please. Infrastructure, to evaluate the city's facility needs. As you know, the city facilities are aging and in need of modernization. Staff is looking to go out to bid through Public Works to hire a consultant to look to modernize safety and technology needs to help our city facilities. And then the Gladstone Parks splash pad and renovation. We're hoping this year it's in the capital improvement project. We're hoping that it is in this fiscal year. And we're working with a vendor on plans and specs, and working with our Public Works department with placement and then the water supply and getting that going. We're hoping that that's approved and funded, and try to get that done by September, October of this year. Next slide, please. Homelessness, this was a new one added in the last, since to the new strategic plan. We have 3, develop a sub-regional homeless housing program. The city manager and staff, we are working with the county and LASA and local agencies to develop a sub-regional housing homeless project that would include Glendora, San Dimas, Laverne, and Claremont. Each city would establish a subcommittee of 2 council members to assist staff in investigating potential partnerships on sharing resources. The city of Glendora has received a proposal from LASA and the county that identifies funds for a capital and operational needs on an interim housing sites. At the March 9th City Council meeting, council directed staff on identifying a location for an interim housing site for up to 50 beds in Glendora. The next one, update the homeless strategic plan. Staff has asked the LA County Homeless Initiative regarding additional funding to update the city's homeless strategic plan. At this time, it does not appear that the funds are available, but we continue to look for funding opportunities. And then supplement homeless operations. The Human Services Division continues to apply and secure any grants that they can to help the needs of the homeless in Glendora. The police department continues to have a relationship with LA County Mental Health and applies for the MET funding when available. Next slide, please. And that concludes staff report. If you have any questions.
Thanks, John. I'll start with Commissioner Riley. Jim, do you have any questions or comments for?
Did he drop off?
Yeah. I think we lost Mr. Riley.
Yes, I don't see him there. Okay. Hopefully he joins us back. Jackie, do you have any questions?
On the homeless sites, Mr. Berry, has there been a site location predicted, or will there be meetings about that?
The city has 3 different sites that are right now that have been set up for that. 2 are on Grand, just south of the freeway, next to the garden, Glendora Gardens. Is that the garden right there? And then across the street, and then down the property down on Arrow Highway and Grand, along the north side there. So those are the 3 areas that they had identified as potential sites.
The north side there is where that 2-story building is. Used to be.
Yes, correct.
They would be housing in that facility?
Well, that's just a potential site.
Oh, okay. And how will a decision be made, and will that be brought to the public?
Those would be, I would think so. Those would be where if the land is available, they would go through to either purchase the land and then come in and put in, the housing that would go there and have a group run the site.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Mallory, anything?
No questions.
Okay, for myself, John, the Glendora Unified School District Memorandum of Understanding, can you give me a little bit more of a definition of what that is and what's
Well, that's our
it?
MOU that we have with them for the use of our facilities.
Okay.
And shared facilities, who does what, who pays for what, who has, so we're working to, because the one hasn't been renewed since I want to say 2013. I think we're supposed to renew it every, we've been going off the same one, so we're renewing it. Like the event center, I think, has a 40-year MOU that says we're supposed to get time. And then, the teen center has one that they can come in and use it for a certain number of hours. The shared property up at Sandberg and Goddard on the 3rd levels. And then one is working with the crossing guards that the city supplies for the school district, the library and the school district, all those kind of things. And we're working on that to redo and make redo it to have it come up to today's standards.
How's the equity been in the past, and what's the city looking for in terms of equity of with the school district? Is it 50-50, 60-40?
Well, I got like both usually get the first right of refusal. So when the fields are not used for school district activities, then the city can use those facilities. They become parks and allows the city to use those facilities in that. So it's a give and take on all different facilities. Like we share for the high school pool. That's a 50-50 for any capital improvement projects, but they do the maintenance, and then we pay during the summer for splash time per class and stuff.
Right. Okay. Is any of that going to take into account Finkbinder and how the closure of that potentially is coming down the pipe with the water reclamation project, and the use of that, and who uses it, and where those things are going to go?
Yeah, that would be somewhat that we'll talk to. I know that the school district is looking to upgrade Sutherland for softball and take their softball from Finkbinder Park over to Sutherland School. So, it'd be more soccer use in Little League, but maybe we could fit in there and get back, use some different times there so that the youth don't have other places to go, that since they used to use Finkbinder at that, if we take that under for a year project.
Right. Okay. That's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't sure, and just curious, but thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. If there are no more questions or discussions, I request a motion.
So move.
Second.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Commissioner Dornick, second by Vice Chair Burrell. I will now conduct an oral roll call. Commissioner Dornick,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burrell,
Yes.
Chair Gerber.
Yes.
The motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Moving on, the Glendora Trails update. I invite our management analyst, Danielle Smith, to present the report. Danielle, welcome.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. So tonight I'm going to highlight some of the projects that have taken place in the city's wilderness area and trails over the past year and a half, as well as highlight some upcoming events and activities for the public. So the city has two large wilderness parks within its border. We have Big Dalton Canyon to the north, and then South Hills Wilderness towards the southern end of the city. Actually, Lorena, can you move to the next slide? Sorry. So that's Big Dalton Canyon, and then next slide is South Hills. So there's a total of 28 trails in both wilderness areas, consisting of hiking only and multi-use trails of varying difficulty. The trails are maintained by both the city and local trails committee volunteer group. Trails maintenance is also performed by various volunteer groups, like Boy Scouts and Girl Scout projects. These groups utilize the city's Adopt Park program in an opportunity to take an active role in maintaining local trails and wilderness areas. Next slide. In the past year and a half, there have been a handful of projects completed by various volunteers. The first one was completed in late 2019, early 2020 by a Girl Scout. She was working in Big Dalton Canyon to help control the spread of the invasive tree of heaven. Stands of approximately 30 feet tall were cut and hauled away into 40-yard bins, and then chemicals were injected into the trees near the root area to help control the regrowth of the species. This is an ongoing project that park staff and volunteers continue to tackle. Next slide. In May of 2020, park staff discovered a volunteer group on Facebook by the name of Glendora Trails Cleanup Crew, created by Glenn Logan and Jordan Butner. This group focuses mainly on cleaning South Hills Wilderness from trash and debris. Since then, they have joined the Trails Committee as members on the board and continue to work in both South Hills and Big Dalton. Next slide. In November of 2020, Christian Scott completed his Eagle Scout project on the Mystic Canyon Trail. The trail has been struggling with users creating rogue trails without permission and damaging the local wilderness or the surrounding wilderness area. The Scout created barricades to block off the starting points of these modified trails, as well as installed signs provided by the city to urge users not to make changes. Next slide. Another Adopt a Park project in November was led by Fred and Brian Rice for the restoration of the Pavel Trail in Big Dalton Canyon. There were various points on the trail that were impassable, and the duo wanted to help remedy that. The father and son are volunteers for the San Gabriel Mountain Trail Builders and certified sawers, so they were fully equipped to complete the work and ensure the area was safe for the public. They have also assisted the city in cutting large logs in the Tree of Heaven project. Next slide. This past Saturday, April 10th, the Trails Committee hosted the annual Trails Day event in South Hills Wilderness area. There were approximately 50 to 60 volunteers who were dispersed throughout the South Hills Wilderness area with masks, gloves, and sanitized tools. The volunteers worked on the Elderberry Trail, the Alasta Trail, and the Big Dalton Wash Trail. Trails Committee will also host another Trails Day event in November, but this will take place in Big Dalton Canyon. And then they also host hikes throughout the year in both Big Dalton Canyon and South Hills. Those are open to the public, and the information is published in the city's activity guide. Staff has also created, as John said, the Outdoor Activity Club, in which kids can register for through ActiveNet. Kids that register will hike on various trails, and recreation staff will be their guide. Staff would like to continue with this program and hope to facilitate more public interest in the city's local wilderness areas. Next slide. That concludes my report. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much, Danielle. I'll start at the top. Mallory, do you have any questions or comments?
No questions. But that's a bunch of really great trail stuff that I did not know was happening. So that's very exciting. Maybe some contenders for the excellence medal we designed.
If you want to announce, Commissioner Riley did join the meeting again.
Yes, I'm back. My internet decided to should be off someplace, and so it took me a couple of minutes to get it going.
Well, welcome back. Jim, did you happen to hear much
Great
of
report,
anything?
Danielle. I'm glad to see the Trails Committee's hard at work up there, and they do so much to provide recreation for members of our community and surrounding communities that it's nice that a lot of people are stepping up to help them out.
Thank you. Jackie?
No, I think everything's wonderful going on the trails. I do know that I think his last name is Mr. Logan. He is a newer volunteer, maybe in the last year or so. And he's just taken it on himself to get people together and do work. He posted on a Facebook site. So thank you to the public for caring for our trails.
Thank you, Jackie. I sentiment that as well. It seems like the activity during this time in those trails were much more used, I think, as an option for people to get outdoors. So by that fact, I think they were exposed to a lot more people, and now hopefully more people will take into account what it takes to keep them as they are, and maybe even do more to improve them so that they can stay in the fashion that we are accustomed. So lots of great information and great support. So I think that would be at some point, maybe, like you said, recognizing, if we do ever do something of that nature, recognizing some of those folks that are taking on these extra tasks to help serve our community. That's definitely worthwhile. Okay, let's see. At this time, I request a motion.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second, Jackie.
We have a motion from Commissioner Riley, seconded by Commissioner Dornick. I will now conduct an oral roll call. Commissioner Dornick,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes,
Vice Chair Burrell,
Yes.
Chair Gerber.
Yes,
Motion carried 4-0 to receive and file the report. Thank you.
thank you. And just comes to the end. At this point, invite the commissioners and their staff to provide some closing comments. I'll start with Commissioner Dornick. Jackie.
Well, just to let people know, if they're interested, the La Fetra Center is holding some Zoom calls. They have a book discussion group weekly on the first or monthly, the first Thursday of each month. And if someone wanted to sign up and be on the Zoom call and discuss the book reading, right now they're reading The Indigo Girl, but in May they're going to be reading, I can't see it, it's too dark in here. I think it's First Fight, Last Fight. It's a autobiography. So there are events going on via internet. I think some computer classes as well at La Fetra Center if anybody would like to participate.
Great information. Thank you. Commissioner Riley.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Vice Chair Burrell.
Nope, nothing to add.
For myself, I just hopeful that we continue to open and move forward with all of the, within the city as things are starting to open up a little bit more, and we find some sort of sense of normalcy, whatever that might be. But it sounds like the city and we're still doing quite a few number of things out there, and it's much appreciated considering what with the resources and the availability that we've had. So John and your staff, kudos to continuing to move forward ahead. And John, any last closing comments?
Yeah, I have a couple. Everybody in the city should be receiving our Earth Day booklet coming out, or our flyer. It's supposedly mailed out this week, where it has, you can call in and sign up for a spot. We're also having the virtual community bike ride, and then our Ego Hunt Challenge, where you can download and go around the city to find where the scavenger hunt and that. So that's coming out. It should be in the mail. We're hoping that everybody receives it by tomorrow. We're putting the final touches on our summer brochure. Will be mailed out in early May. The activity guide, one good thing we are putting in there for summer concerts and movies. We're looking to start both of those after July 4th with limited seating. We are in contact with LA County Department of Public Health and LA County Parks and Rec, where we're looking at seating charts and kind of thing, and probably draw out squares on the grass where people can sit with social distancing and that. We are in the process of hiring for summer staff for our recreation aid for Summit Day Camp. We had a very successful spring break day camp where we had 40 campers, where we usually take 80. The summer we're looking to take 60 instead of our full 80, just for space up there. But it ran very, very successful during the week-long camp at spring break. And we're looking to get Debbie Lopez some help for homeless. We're hiring a management analyst position, but for the homeless, we're hoping that will help her, and she can give some of that work that she has to this new person. So we're out with that, looking for a person to help that position. And that concludes staff report.
Great, thank you very much. A lot of good things. At this time, there's nothing else. I will adjourn the meeting. I have 7:33 until next month. Everybody be well and